to the All You Can podcast, the podcast that provides a platform for those doing all they can in today's world. And today, as always, another phenomenal guest. I mean, music producer extraordinaire, talent searcher. I mean, just a great person. I met him when I was a young buck, and he gave me one of my first opportunities. But without further ado, Mr. Aganee. Ag, what's up, King?
What's good, bro?
Good to see you. Thank you.
Good to see you, family, as always.
How's everything been?
Everything's good, man. I'm blessed. Highly favored, bro.
Man, I tell you, one of my earliest memories connecting with you, my mom was still alive, and we were in New York Fashion. New York Fashion.
Yep.
And Todd, shout out to Todd, he had a Wizard jersey, a Michael Jordan Wizard jersey. And as I'm trying to get my mom to get me this joint, you and Cuban walk in. And Todd, I believe, introduced me to you guys because I was like the new young pit bull out there.
Right.
I was like, yeah, come through after the... I was like, the mall's closed.
Right.
He's like, and he's like, no, I came by, gate closed, but there's about 40 people in the store still battling. They got like a group of 5 singing. I'm like, yo, this is where I want to be. Like, it was hip hop, it was raw. Man, you remember that?
I definitely remember that.
Man, like...
back in those days, bro, that was the scene, like, for hip-hop and the culture itself. The mall was where it was at, and specifically, Styles West used to pop. I had my crew at Styles West, but then it was New York Fashion. New York Fashion was like the hangout, bro. Like, all my homies would go there. We would get our discounts on our fits. Sometimes we would come there and get our stuff for our shows and stuff like that, but it was always a good vibe. My man Todd, and that was the spot to be, man. Like, cats came through there rapping, cats came through there singing. Like you said, it was like a showcase of your talents, a good place to meet, interact with other people that's in the city that's doing things, making some noise, you know what I'm saying? So,
I mean, you could leave with a manager that night, like, depending on how good you were.
I definitely remember hearing you for the first time. I was like, sorry, where you find this guy, bro?
I remember.
Who is this kid?
I remember you gave me a pack of beats, and then I called you back in like 3 days, and I had wrote a song.
Yeah, like, yo, this kid's ready. You was ready, bro. That's why I was like, yo, I gotta give my man a shot. I gotta give him an opportunity, and you know, bring him in on the album.
We getting into that. We gonna get into that. But first and foremost, who is Dennis Jenkins Jr., right?
Yeah,
Aganee Jr. So for those that aren't familiar but heard about your journeys and the things you've achieved in life, let's just dive into the beginning. Like, who you are, where you're from, what schools you've gone to, and what were some of your earlier struggles?
All right, so for me, I was born and raised in Harrisburg. Pretty good part of the city, on a hill, Allison Hill, but like between 18th and 19th Street. So pretty good area. It's like in between the city and in between Bellevue. So I was like right in the middle of everything, you know what I'm saying? Grew up with my mom and my stepdad. My dad was in the picture, but didn't live with my dad. So I was pretty much raised by my mom and my stepdad and got to see my dad on weekends.
Okay.
As a kid, I was a dad's boy, so I used to long for my dad to see my dad, you know what I'm saying? So that was me as a young kid. Dipping into the whole music scene, I was the only child in my household, you know what I'm saying? It was just me, mom, stepdad, and I had a cat, bro. So did Prince after this. I don't know where it came from.
like Merit Awards, like
I guess, man. It was just like a play on cat talk. Like I think my stepdad gave me that name, and his name was like Meow Yucca. It's some weird shit, bro. I can't listen. I don't know. I just went with it. I was a kid.
That's like something Nori would say.
Yeah.
Meow Yucca.
I didn't think about that. Yeah, but so I was the only child in that household. I had brothers and a sister on my dad's side, which I got to see, you know, like every other weekend.
Awesome.
But growing up as an only child, like I had to entertain myself and keep myself entertained. So one of my earliest memories is just always being in love with music and melodies and just engulfed in music. Like, I didn't care about anything else but music. You know what I'm saying? Like, I remember being a kid and I had like a little Casio keyboard. I actually still got that joint.
Like on Hustle and Flow?
Yeah, yo. And I remember learning how to play, I think it was Sheila E., Glamorous Life. That joint. I learned how to play that because my neighbor showed me how to play it. And I was like, oh, okay.
Oh, really?
Yeah, my neighbor, Kenny Borelli, my homie Kenny Borelli, he showed me how to do that joint. And I remember just kind of progressing when it came to music. And it got to a point where I was in like 5th or 6th grade and I started writing raps. I had a notebook where I was writing raps, and I remember the first time my mom found it, she threw that joint away because she was like, "You supposed to be in school, and these books are supposed to be for school, and you got all these raps in here? Nah, we not doing that."
Did you get embarrassed though?
Huh?
Were you embarrassed, or you was like, ah?
Nah, I didn't really care, like if she read it, but it was just a thing of
She's supposed
like I was
books for school.
Yeah, so I mean, I understand it, you know what I'm saying, but she eventually understood what I was trying to do and how I was trying to convey my energy into music. So it was probably like a year later. I remember it was my birthday, and my mom asked me what I wanted. I said, I want a karaoke machine. So I asked for a karaoke machine because at the time I had a rap group that I put together with me and my man Jabron Jones, which is from Framework. You know Fred?
Yeah.
Fred, that's his older brother.
Gotcha.
So me and his older brother Jabron, we was in school together, and we created a rap group. We was called Nonfiction. So I got my karaoke machine, and what I started doing was, I wanna get too deep, but I want to elaborate a little bit.
Please do.
I had this joint back in the day called a Sega CD. I don't know if you remember that.
I still got my Sega.
You said you do? Oh, okay. So it was an attachment that came to the Sega Genesis. For those who don't know, Sega Genesis is an old school gaming system. You had your Nintendo and you had your Sega Genesis. It was an attachment piece that you could upgrade your system. So I discovered on this joint that there was this thing when you played music on it that said A plus B. And me just being curious and trying to figure out what these different things do, I discovered that actually can loop. So when you hit the button, it would begin a loop. And when you hit it again, it would end the loop.
Wow.
So I would just go through CDs and try to find the parts on the CDs that had nobody rapping on it so that I could get beats. So I would go in there, I would loop it, then I would record it onto a tape. Then I took the tape and I put it on the karaoke on the one side, and then I put a tape on the other side to record, and that's how we would record our music.
Put the tissue on the top. So
yeah, you had to do that lots of times. Or you could just put tape. You could put tape over top of it. So that was my early introduction to recording and just wanting to make music, and I fell in love with hearing myself on tape. I felt, even if nobody else heard it, it made me feel like I was somebody, like a superstar. Like, yo, this is me.
You remember that first time? Like,
you
heard that playback? Like,
yeah. Like, oh my God, this is crazy. And it was an addiction that I had to just continue to feed and over time progress and take it to levels unknown. You know what I'm saying? So,
were your parents always supportive after they seen your passion?
Yeah, for sure. Like I said, my mom got me the karaoke machine because she knew that I was into that, and she was trying to nourish that. And then also, like, I remember my real first keyboard was a Yamaha DJ X. That joint was crazy because for those that do production or understand how production works, this machine had no sequencing on it. So if you wanted to make a beat, you had to literally play each track the entire length of the beat. So if you wanted to make a beat that was 4 minutes long, I had to sit there and bang out the drums for 4 minutes.
Metronome.
Yeah. Oh my God, bro. It was crazy. But I made it work, and you could sample on that joint and everything. So that was crazy. That was one of my favorite gifts.
I'm curious how many people knew that, bro. Like, that curious, right? Like, that's what makes a scientist, like, from a baby to a scientist. You never lose that curiosity.
Right.
Like, wait a minute, what is this? That ain't, hold on, I can adjust that? Like,
I was the kid that was always taking stuff apart. So, like, I would get old speakers and stuff like that. I would bust them open. Hook them up. I used to have speakers on my bicycle when I was a kid, and I had it hooked up to my Walkman, so I would listen to my music on the bike. Everything was music, bro. Everything was music. It didn't matter what I was doing. It was music. And I remember when I was a kid, my older brother, Wink, he was a musician as well. He was a rapper. So when I was a little kid, I would look up to him like, yo, he's dope. That's my hero. I want to be like him. And he had a beat machine, a EMU, an SP1200, which is like this classic staple in hip hop music. You know what I'm saying? So I would sneak on his beat machine. I remember I would go visit him every summer down in Maryland. And when I would stay with him, his baby mom stayed at home and he would go to work. And his baby mom would be like, you can mess with the beat machine, but make sure you put that back. And if you break it, it's on you. So I was like, all right, thank you. I appreciate it. So I would sit there and I'll make beats all day while my brother's at work. My boys is outside. I'm in the crib making beats. You know what I'm saying? And I remember telling him that after I grew up and got older, you know what I mean, where he couldn't whoop my ass anymore, you know what I'm saying? But that was my thing, man, just music and making beats and wanting to create.
It's crazy how a lot of MCs or artists or producers, they share similar stories. Like, because even to my own story, I remember I got the 2-player part karaoke. Right. And I used to record the music off the radio. Like on Hot 97 play songs I like. I already had the tape ready, so I just hit record.
Yeah.
And I would learn songs, rewind, play, write it down, stop, rewind, write it down, stop, right? Because this is our child. Like, come on, if anybody tell me I'm not telling the truth, right? Like, you stop and then you learn you learn it all.
I did that when the first song that I really remember doing that too strong with was Notorious Thug, because that was a hard song to learn. The only thing dangerous, ain't too many can bang with us. I remember sitting there and it was playing on the radio, because back in the days, Harrisburg didn't have a radio station. We honestly just got a radio station like 2-3 years ago. Yeah. But before that, we had 1400 to touch, which was
Mr. Wizard. Can you get?
Yeah, exactly. We had that at least. But I remember sitting there. I had my speaker cord as an antenna, and every once in a while I could get 92Q down in Baltimore, and they played the whole Biggie album, front to end.
Recorded that joint.
Yeah, recorded that joint and just sat there and wrote the whole verse out. Learned it.
And then you go to school showing off. Yeah. You know Angel does.
Like, yo, how you know that already?
Yeah. But I think that's what, you know, those humble beginnings, you remember those. Like, I remember I used to, in placement, you know, you do what you got to do, read. When people threw out radios, like you said, I would take them apart. I would interview myself. I would do impressions and interview myself, like it's Beavis and Butthead.
That's crazy.
By Ralph, like, I might still have tapes. Like,
that's
I used
crazy.
to try to be as ingenious as I could.
You gotta find those,
keep
bro.
my mind, like, busy, and I remember doing all that to this very day, bro. And it's just, I love it, because, like Ye said, everything I'm not made me everything I am. Right. So those that did have the best radios and just were privileged by it working the first time, great. But I learned the components, and I learned how to DJ doing that. I learned the mechanics of like aux and, you know, red wire, black wire, like what is it? So, you know, I take it as a blessing, man. You
That's
know,
a fact.
Like what they say, when you want patience, God ain't gonna give you patience. You pray for patience, He's gonna give you the opportunity to be patient.
Yeah. He's gonna help you build up those patience.
Yeah.
You know
would you say that was your earliest memories of like wanting to make music?
For sure. Definitely. And I played an instrument growing up too. I played the trumpet.
Word.
I started in like 4th or 5th grade at Ben Franklin. I used to go to Ben Franklin Academic Prep. And my teacher, Mr. Robbins, I remember when I came in, I wanted to play drums, bro. I always wanted to play drums, never played drums. It was like back in those days, they just told you what you were playing. It was so weird. Like, I remember going into the basement, because that's where we took lessons and stuff at. And it was like, all right. I remember my boy Tim Brooks. He was like, you're playing trombone. I was like, man, I'm glad I ain't got that joint. That joint look crazy. And he was like, all right, Dennis, you're going to play trumpet. I'm like, trumpet? Man, I don't want to play no damn trumpet. Man, whatever. So I got my trumpet, and I ended up being
nice with it,
bro. I was in the all city band, and I don't like giving myself, you know, props like that.
Man, that's what this is for.
Word. But I was nice, bro. Like, I was the cat that used to always get the solos. Like, when we would have our big concerts and stuff. Like, we would have our concerts up at the middle school, at the jungle, you know what I mean, or the zoo. My bad, the zoo. And I would always get my solos and stuff. And I remember when I was in grade school, I was actually in the middle school band. So it was like certain days out of the week or the month where they would actually take us and transport us up to the middle school to play with the older kids. Like, I remember that. But
so you Louis Armstronged it out.
Yeah. I was what was Denzel Washington's name in Mo Better Blues?
See,
I was him.
See, somebody gonna smack me now. That was gonna come to
me. Yeah, I was him. I wanted to be him, bro. Like, he was too smooth. He had all the ladies. I was like, yo, the trumpet ain't that bad, bro. Yeah, exactly.
That's one of them things, like, don't take it for granted. Like, God has blessed you, yes. Yeah. But use it for your, like, if you're a vessel and God's using you, just appreciate it. Don't take it for granted.
Yeah, for sure.
You'll wake up and it will be gone.
And you can't do nothing about it.
Nothing about it, bro. Yeah. And that's it's crazy. I know a lot of people, I used to sing, but I do da-da-da now, right? Wonder why. Like, maybe you switched it and Lord's like, you don't need that voice to keep doing my work over here.
Right.
I don't know. I kind of think fifth dimensional sometimes, and some people are like, bro, really?
Nah,
I have my beliefs.
You gotta think. Yeah, you gotta think outside of what you see in front of you.
The human realm. Yeah, KRS-One does a great seminar about the fifth dimension. He says he's holding a Monster energy drink. He says, "Close your eyes and say monster." They do it. He said, "Did you hear that voice?" They're like, "Yeah." I said, "Who said it? Where is that voice coming from?" He said, "That is the fifth dimension. You need to find yourself there more often. Get familiar with it." One of the realest things I ever heard Chris say, bro. Like, and from that day on, I looked at it a lot differently, bro. When you talk about your pineal gland and connecting and the chakras, that is the best way to put it, bro. Because we take that, we call it our subconscious, we call it God, whatever we call it, we're not in touch with that. And it's on another plane, it's in another, somewhere, we don't know where, but I'm hearing it now.
Yeah, when you just said it, I could just, I envisioned it.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah. And you know, it comes from hip hop. Like, I guess sometimes it's the messenger. You know, it's not really the message, it's who's saying it. Because some people with triple doctorates aren't able to do what some of these MCs are able to do with just a couple bars, you know. So you never know, bro. Right. But we got to dive in, man. NRL. So I remember when I came home from placement, and I'm like, what's the scene like? I want to make music. Like, I just tear them up out there. And everybody, record release party, NRL, like Candyman, Aganee, Cuba, blah, blah, blah. Like, like, who's he that? Like, this isn't just for the podcast, so I'm not gassing. It was literally like celebrities, like everywhere they was, like the releases. I mean, there was support. I was like, yo, these dudes is there. They made it. Like, what was the beginning of NRL? How did you guys, Mike Nasty? How did y'all start that?
All right, so NRL was already established before I came into the situation.
Gotcha. Who was it? It was Mike.
Well, it was ran by my man Zay.
Okay.
It was ran by Zay, and it was ran by Big John Saints.
Gotcha.
They were the two heads of the label, CEOs.
So Cash Nobody was around yet. That was.
Well, they had a group at the time. You had Candyman and Cash. They were in a group called Casual.
Okay.
You had my man Fame. Fame was, I believe, Fame was his own artist. Then they had a producer, but he wasn't around too much. It was a dude named John Doe. Fitting. You had Jim Beans, which was just multi-talented. He was a producer, writer, and he was also an artist in the group. We had an R&B group, Trey Songz, which was crazy. That was Boo Bop, that was Grump, and that was Jim Beans, like I said. Then you had Mike Nasty, who was just Big Mike at the time, which was just a city legend when it came to hip-hop and rap music in general. He was the head of the NRL. And then you had my man Cuban, just crazy, multilingual.
Cuban spit line.
Yeah, shoot somebody's head off. He was the battle guy. He was the lyricist. That was my partner. Me and him actually clicked first in the group. Like, when the way I came into the NRL was, I remember doing a party. I was at a party at the center on Walnut Street.
Yep, shout out to the center.
Right. Which was right down the street from where Zay lived at, and where it was like the hub for which at the time was called Versatile Entertainment, which was the label that NRL was on. So I did a show there. DJ T-Boy Gold, God bless the dead man, my man T-Boy Gold, was spinning, and I asked him. I want to say I was like, "Yo, can you throw in that Where My Dogs At beat, the DMX joint?" And I did this flow that I've been at the house practicing for like 2-3 weeks. I was like, I'm gonna go to this center party, and when they do the little freestyle section, I'm gonna kill it.
Murderous.
Yeah, I'm gonna murder this. So I went up there, I did my thing. People was fooling with it heavy. I want to say I met Cuban there.
Okay.
He told me to holler at Zay. It was probably sometime within a week I got the courage to call Zay, because it's like, as a young kid, I'm like, yo, this is like a real opportunity, you know what I'm saying? So I remember calling Zay, rapping for him over the phone. He was like, yo, you gotta come by, you know what I'm saying? So I went to the crib, got introduced to the whole squad and everything, and it was a family situation after that. Like, it was never like no official paperwork. We just rocked, and we stood on handshakes and just loyalty, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So, like I said, me and Cuban, we got super tight. Cuban was already out of school. I was still in school. He would come pick me up from my mom's house, and we would mob out. We would just write rhymes at his crib, get instrumentals from Music Man, you know, best music spot. Yeah, Craig and Conrad. We would go over there, go get instrumental CDs, and we would just bang out and just write rhymes. And that's how we formed our own squad outside of NRL, which originally was called the Young Guns. Then we dropped that because the group from Philly came out as the Young Guns. So we just turned ourselves into Aganee and Cuban Future Rap Music, F.O.R.M. And we put it together. My man Galen Stevenson's my guy Starsky. Shout out to him. Shout out to Corey. Them guys together helped us put this thing together and like really make it move.
And just so we make it official, because I talk to some of the OGs sometimes, and they be like, bro. Was Rah Rah not on that album at least 3 or 4 times? Yeah. I was actually like one of the artists on Future.
You were officially, unofficially an artist on Future Rap Music. Like you were one of our artists.
Like the Fab on the DJ Clue type.
Exactly.
It was just like that. Yeah.
You were our artist.
I remember going to Studio Show with Marshall Deasy.
Marshall Deasy,
man. Oh, big up Deasy.
Yeah,
I remember one session. It was the
Diamonds.
Yes,
Diamonds.
Everybody.
Yeah, we had Blackston, Life. Yeah, we had what's the name on it too? Metaphor, man. God bless the dead.
Was Black Chameleon on there?
Yeah. Was BC on there? I'm gonna say BC was on there.
Rest in peace, Medi, man. First and foremost, man. We lost a monumental individual in hip hop here in the city, man.
Fact,
so
man.
Absolutely, Medi, man. And I made music with him all the way to the end, bro. Like
that's crazy.
He inboxed me when he was sick, and I was like, "What do you mean, bro? You don't get that?" He actually inboxed me that.
Wow.
Because he was touring with me when we was hitting the road. Medi was with me a lot.
I didn't even know. I didn't know anything. I just seen one day online, and I was like, "Wow."
He got sick,
and then it kind of makes you aware and just say like, "Damn, like life can be taken from you at any moment." It's like you gotta appreciate people and love people while they're here, because then you think like, "Damn, like, why not I reach out to cuz and check on him and just see how he is?" You know what I'm saying? But we get so caught up in our everyday, our own bubble, in our life, in our world, in our family, that sometimes we forget to check on friends and loved ones. But
like, since we talking history, right? And see, the brother said it said Rah Rah a lot, but I don't know if you know this ad, right? On the Future Rap Music,
right?
We did multiple tracks. The album was crazy. That's in my earlier years, I took pride just riding around. My mom loved it. Like she's like,
that's dope. That's dope.
But so when you gave me one of the sample, it wasn't a sample disc. It was like a pre-production, just so I could listen to it.
Okay.
It was from Marshall. It was just a regular, like verbatim CD, but it said RADASH. RA. Because I used to spell my name RA with a dash. RA. Right. But when I told you that, I think you actually wrote dash. And I looked at it for about 2 hours.
Is that what a raw dash gave you? Nah.
On everything.
What?
On everything.
Oh my God. Is this the first time?
First time.
Damn, that's crazy.
Rap City Ticket exclusive.
That's crazy. I never knew that.
Yeah,
I remember when you transitioned the name. Yep. I didn't know where it came from. I was like, yo, that shit is.
Yep.
I didn't realize that.
You handed me a CD because you must have been like, yo, spell it for me. Because I used to spell Rah Rah R-A with a dash, actual dash R-A. And I think you just was in the running and gunning and you wrote RADASH RA. And I looked at it, I was like, okay. I just saying it to myself. I took it home, I was playing the drum, I was watching it. I said, yo, I think I want Dash.
That's crazy.
I think I like that. Take the back end Rah off. Because in the street, I was known as Rah Rah. Everybody Rah Rah.
Yeah.
But that's how I actually got my performance name, my actual artist name that BMI for ASCAP. Because you just quick,
That's crazy.
So thank you, my brother.
Yeah, no doubt. You already know.
Yo,
damn, I ain't trying to go off topic. It had me starting to think about the whole Presto movement. Like, y'all had a nice movement, bro. We had some dope records too. Remember that Murderer record, bro?
Yes. I was just watching that video. Baby girl, this is your dad, and I'm trying to do my best.
That's crazy.
Sometimes it gets hard.
You had the Bucks in that joint.
Yes, always had the babies.
That's videos. Now they grown, bro.
And then we won an award for the obesity song when we did the obesity campaign. And his brother, Hakeem's brother, shot it. Zaire. His brother shot it. And we won a hip hop award for that with video with the best message, and all the babies were in it.
That's cool.
Just talking about eating good and eating healthy. I wanted to, kind of switch it up a bit. Because
cool.
as I got older, my music kind of turned to more conscious.
Yeah.
To more realism.
Because you start to grow up and you start to see things, and it's like, wow, you realize how much music affects people.
Yeah.
Especially you think about how we came up and how music affected us. And then it's like, man, so with my music, I can really give people a message that they'll listen to.
Yeah.
Without having it be on some corny stuff.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And at the same time, you feeding somebody,
you
feeding their soul.
Gotta find a way to deliver it. And I just felt like I always had a crafty way of getting the message out. And that was one of my talents. But yeah, man, like my name, you know, a big part of like my early beginnings was feeding off of your energy and learning the Berg and the ways, and picked it up quick.
That's dope.
Picked it up quick.
Yeah, now we always looked at you like our little bro, so it was like, you know, it was a family situation.
Coming on Nectarine Street to the lab.
You and One Time Uno.
Yeah.
Yeah, like y'all was like our little compadres, you know what I'm saying? Our little bros. So.
But it showed me like it can be done in the area.
Right.
It could be done, and then Ty started getting shows and keeping us, I don't know if I should say this, but keeping us sharp with the clothes from the store. And he would reimburse the clothes, so it wasn't a loss, but he invested in us.
Right.
So I want to thank Ty too, man.
Yeah, shout out to Ty, man.
Everybody played a role.
He invested into a lot of people just on the strength of believing in us and just seeing us and saying, man, I see potential in you. So I shout out to Ty, man. I still talk to Ty from time to time, man. Like, shout out to him, man. Ty Davis.
Let me ask you this. MPC or playing it out originally?
When you say playing it out originally.
So, you going to sample it out with the MPC? Or would you rather a musician come in and play that sax note and you grab it from there? What would be your choice? If you could pie sky, right? You could do either way. What would be Ag's choice? Because I remember that red MPC thing.
Well, yeah, now that was the
Pie, was it?
That joint was a damn, I forget it.
I thought it was a red MP.
It wasn't an MP. That was a whole different beat machine. It was like an ASR X. That's what it was. ASR X.
That's what it was.
Man.
That's what it was.
You know, the ASR X. I remember this. I don't want to go off topic. I'm gonna answer your question.
Yeah.
But my man YG, God bless the dead, my brother, man. Him and his cousin, they believed in me so much that they invested into me and bought me that beat machine.
Wow.
Like, that was a blessing. I remember, like, you know, being a young boy, I really couldn't afford to get that joint. And they was like, yo, Ag, we gonna get you that joint, you know what I'm saying? And they invested in me, bought me that joint, and for years I rocked out on that joint. So, yeah, shout out to that, man. Shout out to people just believing in people. If you're ever in a position, you know what I mean? Like, obviously, this goes hand in hand with the all you can thing.
Absolutely.
If you see potential in the youth, especially the youth, man, because the youth are the future. Like, think about it. Think about where you came from. The youth are the future, regardless of what you think. The youth are our future. So if you see the youth and you see potential in them, and you can water that plant, water that flower, do that.
You gotta do it.
Do what you can. Do all you can to help them develop, because you never will understand how much that means to a young person unless it was done for you. You know what I mean? As a young person, I remember that, and that was fundamental for me to be like, wow, like somebody actually believes in me enough, and that helped to fuel my fire to be like, man, I'm that nice that they want to actually take their money and invest in me and get me what I need to do what I feel like I have potential to do. So they seen the potential in me more than I seen the potential in myself, and in turn, that helped me become who I am. You know what I mean? Those are all pieces of my DNA, pieces of the making of me, and where I was able to, you know, get to, and what I was able to achieve musically, and just believing in myself. So that's, you know,
that's God's work. That's God's work.
For sure.
Mr. Norman Ellis, Pose Dad. That makes the beats. Pose Dad. That man played a big role in saving my life when my mom died.
Word.
Like, that man would come on the block, scoop me up, get in the car, take me out to like the cafe, get me something to drink, buy me a book, and talk to Mr. Ellis. Saved my life, bro. I promise you.
Wow.
And one of the books, I mean, after 4 agreements, you know, I mean, so many great books to this day that I still have. But he gave me a book and educated me on the greatest salesman in the world, and I ain't gonna dive too deep into it, but it's just like you said, doing great just for the sake of doing great. So there was a king that took in a young man, and he tasked him with, you know, going out and doing something great into the community. He gave him a cloak, that was like a wool cloak and just some tokens. And he said, try to do whatever you can and come back and talk to me about the outcome, right?
Yeah.
So he's wandering the town. He just sees this bright light, but he don't know what it is. But he's wandering the town trying to find, but he doesn't know which way to go. So he goes into a cave because it starts raining. And in the cave, he hears a baby crying. And there's a lady, you could see, she's had a rough week or rough month or whatever it is. Yeah. And he's like, you know what? He feels bad. He's like, I got this cloak. It's cold. I can't achieve what the king needs me to, man. Here, buy the baby some bread or something and keep him warm. The guy couldn't get it done. And he's like distraught. He's returning back to the kingdom. And the king knows something's up, though, because he sees the brightest star he's ever seen in his life.
Wow.
Ever. So he's waiting for him in front of the castle, right? The young man arrives crying. You know, sorry, Your Highness, I couldn't achieve it. I'm not what you thought I was. He said, my son. If only you knew. You see that star? The Star of Bethlehem?
Wow.
You just clothed the baby Jesus and saved his life.
What?
Yeah, just for the sake of doing right.
Wow.
I got goosebumps just telling you the story.
Bro, I feel, wow.
Just from, and he didn't know. But it's like, you know what?
Didn't even know what he was doing.
I can't even accomplish it.
It was just out of his heart.
Yeah, I'd rather go to something good than me return.
Wow.
Me return with this cloak for what? This baby's cold.
Wow.
Gave it all, right? He thought he was coming back with bad news. He's like, oh, no. You've done the greatest.
Yeah.
You've done the greatest you could ever do.
Wow.
So that's just like a part of my
yo. And wow, the message in that. And what that did for you, like, as a kid, to have that and read that and take that in and where that came from, it's just like, it was meant for you.
Yeah. As a Man Thinketh, James Allen, another book that he gave me, and I realized we create our own what into fruition means. Like, if I want to get up and get that paper, I get up, I grab the paper, right? Same thing applies if I want to get doctored. Right. I study for what the requirements are, and I pass that requirement. Now I am a licensed physician. Right. It's not complicated, but humans overcomplicate things. Because we get our personal lives, our personal opinions, and you don't understand because... Right. But really, life, we're the only things moving around 100 miles an hour. If you stop and watch everything, the butterflies move slow, the ants move slow, the grass grows slow. Like, we're the only things on this earth, like, creating chaos, just frantic all over the place. Right? You really got to slow it down and tone it down and observe. You got to see beneath the roads, the concrete. You got to see the dirt under the dirt and what it was before that. Right. All is gone, right? And think from day one and wake up every day like you've achieved nothing. Even if you sold 30 million records yesterday, I've done nothing. That's the energy I'm giving. That's what I bring to the students and my folks, like, every day. Yeah. And it's very sobering for a Friday, right? I don't drink. My passion comes from within. My children, I can't look at my 5 children, tell them this, that, and the third, and live the complete opposite. And in contrast, I can't tell the students in schools or the community or, my residents that I'm this, that, and the third, but I'm really living like hell behind the scenes. No, all my kids are honor students. All my kids are scholarship bound. They're all great athletes. Everything I live is an exoneration of what I say. That's dope. If I'm going to say it, I'm going to back it.
That's so dope, man. I'm so glad that you're doing what you do, bro. Like, I've said this to you before, but I'm saying it on the show too, man. I'm super proud of you,
thank you, bro.
The transition from boy to a man is just phenomenal, bro.
You've known young Rod.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I've known the young Ken and Rod, before the Rod Dash and before, you know what I mean? Like, I know. So I'm proud of you, man. Like, for real, like, the city needs you. Yeah. Like, you're necessary. I remember as a kid growing up, one of our city's heroes was Sherman Cunningham. Did you know Sherman?
No, I never met him.
Okay, well, to those who know Sherman Cunningham, as most of us would refer to him as Uncle Sherm, he was the epitome of what a black man and what a father figure is. He used to run the Boys and Girls Club out the Southside. Okay. I lived on the hill, but that was where I grew up at.
Absolutely.
Out the Southside, our home man, the Boys and Girls Club. At that time, it was just the Boys Club. He helped us become men. Yep. You know what I'm saying? So it was like, for me, it was after I got out of school, because my mom worked till like 6 o'clock. My bus would take me over there, so I would be there every day from 3 o'clock to 6. And in the summertime, it was all summer long. All summer long. So my mom would drop me off there in the morning before she goes to work, pick me up after work. So we just got to learn how to be a man and think before you act. Because in the midst of all that, you walk outside those doors to the Southside Boys Club, it was chaos, bro. Yeah. It was people hustling, it was people dying, people shooting. Yeah. It was a crazy scene. But he took us in the middle of all of that and taught us how to be men. Mm-hmm. It was like, all right, you guys, I remember, if you did not want to put on boxing gloves, don't come in there arguing with nobody else in the club. Because the moment you got into an argument, it could be your friend, it could be another person in the club, you get into an argument, first thing you're going to hear, and he had a super thick, raspy, heavy voice, get the gloves. Bro, you did not want to hear, if you did not want to fight or you wasn't nice with them hands, you did not want to hear, get the gloves. Because he's going to bring out the mat, and he going to put them heavy-ass gloves on your hand, and y'all going to have to duke it out. You know what I'm saying? And afterwards, you're going to shake hands, you're going to hug, and you're going to walk away.
Go play foosball or something.
Yeah, exactly. So, that, you know what I mean? Just a quick little shout-out to Uncle Sherm, man. Rest in peace to Uncle Sherm, man. Such a great dude and a great guy for the city. And I say all that to turn back around and say that I'm glad to see you doing what you do, because it's essentially the same type of situation that I had growing up. So to be able to grow up and become the man that I've been able to grow and become, and I see a lot of my peers that I grew up with in the club growing up to be because of Sherm, that makes my heart happy to know that you're doing the same type of work with the youth now. So I know that we got some youth that are in good hands with you. You know what I'm saying? Absolutely. So that's a beautiful thing, man.
Thank you. I just got to say thank you. That means a lot.
Yeah, bro. For sure.
Because,
bro.
I mean, it's one thing to know what you're doing, but to get the flowers from your peers, the community. Sometimes I think I'm celebrated, or all you can's mission is celebrated in the dark. And when I run into certain people, it's like, oh, I love what you're doing, but it costs us nothing to support. What does support mean? It's just a word until you actually do it. Right. You have to take action. Everybody's like, I support you. But what does that look like? Don't just tell me the word, because I have a whole pocket full of words. I'm sure you don't want to hear them all. But don't just say, I support you, and that is it. I've had people tell me to my face, I can only cheer you on in the dark, but I got your back. That's actually more offensive than slapping me right now.
Yeah, like, don't just do nothing.
And that's why a lot of our heroes fall. Malcolm, Martin, Mahatma. We could keep going. Marcus, right? Like, because in one face, the people are like, we love what you're doing, keep going. But the moment there's a bone to be thrown, it's like throwing to the wolves. If we learn to just stand on business all the time, there's no one that can touch us. Protect the golden goose. Protect those that are going to protect us. Right. The Panther said, feed them, clothe them, educate them, right? But that didn't catch on for everyone.
No,
right?
Definitely.
Like what they're doing, oh no, we gone, right? But if there would have been more, like absolutely not, because our children need to grow up, right? Yeah. We learn, it's not mistakes, but we learn from their experiences. Yeah. I don't call them mistakes, because if they didn't do what they did, we don't even know if we'd be able to sit here right now interviewing, so I'm thankful for all those leaders before us, and Chairman Hampton and everybody else, and I mean all the great leaders that unfortunately lost their lives. It's like, it's not until we lose them that we're like, wow, we really had somebody dope. Yeah, we really had somebody.
It's sad that it has to be like that.
Yeah,
but man. That's like the constant story, and it's been the story forever. But if we could change that narrative and actually celebrate people while they're here and appreciate them while they're here, that would make all the difference in the world.
There's plenty. God made plentiful, right? Like, it's enough for everyone's cup to run us over, right? But we don't see it that way. We're like, oh, no, I could do that too. I'm not going to big him up, because he's going to get the spotlight for 10 minutes. Yeah. Dog, you sound crazy.
Yeah, it's super crazy.
But that's really their energy. Like, no, don't put him on the flyer. Put me on. I've heard this my whole life, bro. I've heard this my whole life. Like, and I'm like, dog, and it still exists to this day in the world I'm in, the realm I'm in. Yeah. You would think these professionals would have a tighter close and tighter grip on things. No, it's still pretty much the same, but they argue on a higher level. Right. It's like, y'all know, that's what y'all talking about right now. Like, but
it's crazy.
As long as you stay pure and keep your heart driven. When we got elected, a great woman, Miss Gloria Martin, told me, she said, keep God with you, because once you walk in that building, Satan exists. And I've held that near and dear even to this day, and I know what I'm up against every day I walk in there. And I got my chest out, my head high, and I'm ready to go for the people. I'm ready to go for the people. So it's a fact, bro. I'll be ready. Boots,
keep doing it.
Boots links. You better be doing unthinkable suits on. Some coming through. Back to it, we got to it. So what's up? You recently, not recently, how many years ago when you got married?
Yeah.
About how many
We
years?
just celebrated our 7th year anniversary.
Congrats.
Yeah,
Congrats,
appreciate that.
Congrats.
Yeah.
You want to say what's up to wifey?
Oh yeah, what's up, baby? You already know. You already know. She knew what's coming over here to do my thing. She knew when I went to the school to go speak to the kids and stuff. So yeah, but that's my best friend, bro. Like I feel like a lot of people are real cliche. Yeah. They're like, oh yeah, I married my best friend. Like no, like I legit married my best friend. Like we were friends for it's been 23 years.
Wow.
And we know everything about each other, you know what I'm saying? Which is just a super dope thing. Like, we were friends while we were with significant others, you know what I'm saying? And then it just...
working through the problems of those
yeah, like, just being actual friends, you know what I'm saying? It's like, you know, people used to be like... I remember I had people I dealt with that was jealous of me being a friend, and she had dude she dealt with that was jealous of me being a friend. Oh, I know he want to be with you, but we was genuinely friends. Yeah, I ain't gonna say I didn't, you know, find her attractive and wanted to be with her.
You're a man,
but I was but we were legit friends. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? So it was a beautiful thing when the gates opened up and it was just like, oh wow, this is the time. Like everything is timing. So it was like, man, like.
Why do they feel like men can't be platonic? Why? Right? Like
I don't know.
It's crazy because even there's been times where I'm just out and about, moving and grooving. A lady would drop like money or a card or a wallet. I'm like, man, I got a man. No, you're not. You dropped your wallet.
Yeah, like
some men are just good men.
Yeah, for sure.
You ever consider that? Like,
for sure.
I get it. There are some men that are just a bit weird, and you know, we got some
of us that walk in the store and open the door for a lady.
I do it all the time. I do it all the time.
Like if I see a lady that's trying to reach up for something on the shelf, I'm always that person that's like, oh, let me grab that for you, or they're taking the cart back. Oh, I'll get that for you. You know what I'm saying? It's just how I was raised. You know what I'm saying? So,
but I gotta have that difficult conversation with my biracial children that are Black and Puerto Rican and tell them, like, although Daddy and Mommy showed you the right way, there's going to be some people that will backfire against that.
Yeah.
But you don't let that hurt you. You just continue doing what you're doing.
Right.
Yeah, and the scariest thing is, like, I got to have those difficult conversations with my own biracial children, you know, Black and Puerto Rican. And although we have nothing but the best intent, what they call today in our society a Karen or someone with that energy, right? Like, doesn't matter how great you're trying to be or the God's work you're trying to do, hold the door, put your jacket down, they're going to take offense to that. Yeah. And there will be some that will go above and beyond and try to sit, like, you know, it's unfortunate, but to teach them at least, here's the procedures, right? You're never going to win anything on the scene of a crime, at the scene of a pullover. You'll never win an argument, just shut up.
Yep.
Get it through, and our daddy's on his way. Trust me. Let me get there, but don't ever be confrontational because some of your friends are going to be tough. Don't be like them, right? I just try to raise them the best way, bro. 11 and 2, the whole nine, right?
It's crazy that you got to actually have that, those conversations with your kids and that type of almost like a training for your kids to understand how to operate and move.
Did you ever see The Hate You Give?
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, powerful, yo.
And that's the world we live in.
We watched that as a family.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? That was important. You know what I'm saying? Certain movies like that, you know what I mean? It's like, all right, you don't know this movie? We'll be sitting down and we watching it.
Yeah.
You know what
Do
I'm
you
saying?
find you have like difficult conversations with yours as well?
My son, my oldest son, he right now is kind of at the stage where he just kind of like keeps a lot of stuff to himself.
Gotcha.
And I try to have conversations with him. He talks about some things, but I can tell some things he kind of keeps to himself. But I try to always let him know there's like the door's always open. Like if you ever feel like you need to talk, I'm here.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, but he's at that stage. It's like I throw on my music and I vibe out. Or he's out with his friends all the time. He's a real good kid though. You know what I'm saying? Getting ready to graduate, super good kid.
Big ups.
Yeah, he works hard, and I know that I've laid a foundation for him.
Yep.
Regardless of what we go through, like right now, we butt heads. You know what I'm saying? It's the typical teenager and dad doesn't know what he's talking about type thing. You know what I'm saying? Like, nah, bro, I only been here for 43 years. I don't know what I'm talking about. I've never done that before.
Concentrate, Mr. Clean, while you put the whole bottle in there. Yeah. It says 7 gallons, B.
Right, 7 gallons. But it's cool. Like I understand because I went through that phase, you know what I'm saying? I think a lot of us go through that phase, and lots of times we hear our parents and we do listen, but we don't necessarily apply those things. and we have to learn on our own, which is just a part of
Yeah.
life. You know what I'm saying? Like, I can think of how many things my parents told me, and I heard them, but did I actually take it in consideration when making decisions in life, and then later to come back and be like, you was right.
Yep. And you know what I think we differ? Because we are still young-minded dads, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like, we get down with the game too. Throw PS5 on.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Right? Oh, you want to go get them phones? Nah, I've been getting the ones. I don't like them.
Yeah.
We still very
right.
culturally driven. Like
right.
generations before us, it wasn't always like that. It was a huge.
It was a bigger gap. It was a bigger gap. Way bigger gap.
And now it's beautiful because there are more dads playing the games with their sons, and they're getting into tournaments. And although maybe mom might trip sometimes, but it's a great bonding, right? Yeah. I'd rather be sitting in the room playing with my son than God knows who.
Right.
Because you never know who's on the other end of that metal word.
Yeah, that's a fact.
You never know, bro.
Yeah.
You know, so, I mean, and I implore anyone watching this, spend more time with your kids, man, because one day, I'm dealing with it now, but I've always been there since day one. But they will go off to college, and then, you know, you figure like this, 18 Christmases, 18 Thanksgivings,
it's not a lot.
birthdays, it's not a lot, man.
Nah, it's not.
It's not a lot. And when you think of it like that, you're like, oh man, I got 5 Christmases left. I got to make it big, right? Like, because once they go off to college, it's not that they don't love you no more. They are now what you are, an adult.
Yeah.
They are now accountable for their life and responsibility.
And they got their own. They got their own thing going on.
You know, because there's a day where they too cool for school. You're not the same, you know. And they find another inspiration. That don't mean they don't love you no more. So you did your job. Look at it like that. Well done to the parents, right? Mission accomplished. But never lose that, because I know there's parents that don't talk to their kids for like 10, 15 years. Like, don't do that, right? Because you can't get that time back.
Yeah.
You just can't. I mean, I'd rather you take my money. I'd rather you take my items, but not my time, because it's irreplaceable.
Yeah. I have an amazing relationship with my dad. Me and my mom, not to get too personal, but we've gone estranged a little bit, like over the past couple of years. And I continue. The only thing that I can say is that I continue to try to reach out to my mom, and you know, I'm never gonna give up that.
No.
I'm never gonna get that up, because it's like I'm at the age now where I think, like, you know, like, time is of the essence. You know what I'm saying? Tomorrow's not promised. You know what I'm saying? And I know you understand that.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying?
I was gonna give you a jewel about that too, right? Like, and I hope no one's parents ever have to meet the destiny that both of mine had met, unfortunately. But I was with my mom to her dying day. My brothers cannot say the same. I sleep every night with a clear conscience.
Right.
Because I know I gave her that last hug. Although, you know, sometimes you miss that or miss this.
Yeah.
She passed away around Mother's Day of 2023. I was just with her the whole week of Easter.
Wow.
So it wasn't like, you know what I mean? Me and my guy Vic, you know, shout out Vic. We watched Friday After Next. Blockbuster was still open. You know what I mean? Like,
wow.
Yeah. So, like, we spent the whole week with her. I ain't seen my brothers in 20-something years. Damn. So never give up, bro. Like, because at least at the end of the day, you're going to have a clear conscience. You're going to give it your all. And you're not going to live with any doubts. It's going to be number positive memories, bro. Right. So you just keep it up, bro. I'm proud of you for that.
I feel like, you know, we've had our differences, but it's like I want to be able to have a conversation, even if it's an uncomfortable conversation.
Yes.
And my mom doesn't necessarily like to have those conversations. So it's like I feel like we have some things that we got to iron out, which is, you know, it's cool. That's how family work. So, you know, the biggest thing that I do is daily when I wake up, you know, I thank God and my whole thing. You know what I'm saying? I thank God for the blessings, and I speak positivity into my life, and I always pray for my parents, you know what I'm saying? My family, my loved ones. So I continue to keep my mom in my prayers, and, you know, periodically I try to reach out, and I know that, you know, what's meant to be will be. So hopefully, you know, we'll be able to get over that. But, you know, tapping into the whole, you know, you were talking about the biracial. Your kids being biracial. A lot of people don't know that about me, that I'm biracial too. Like, I was having a conversation with my homies. We were on like a group call, because a couple of us drive trucks and stuff, so we get on the phone and we have conversations. And I think they thought I was joking when I was talking. I was like, yeah, my mom's white and my dad's black. And they're like, nah, you blah, blah, blah. Like, nah, for real. You know what I'm saying? So, growing up, I had a great relationship with my mom. My mom was the best mom in the world, you know. And it was always a little bit different being a biracial kid, because you kind of like, you almost feel like you have to pick a side, which is crazy. I don't know if it's like that for, like like being biracial, like black and Puerto Rican, because I feel like we as blacks and Hispanics, I feel like we kind of in the same.
Oh yeah,
we in the same. We in the same pot. You know what I'm saying? But the black and white dynamic and being born in '81 was crazy, because it's like my mother's father, when she got pregnant and with me, he stopped talking to her.
Wow.
So I never met him. I only seen pictures of him. He passed away like 2-3 years ago. So like he never even got to meet me or his great grandkids and none of that. So it's just like, it's crazy to me that somebody, could live their life like that. You know what I'm saying? It's like, I had a couple family members on my mom's side, my grandma, my aunt, my uncle, my cousins, and stuff like that. But you always kind of feel like a little divided. I don't know how to explain it. I'm sure other kids that have been in this situation can understand. But it's like, you almost feel like you have to pick a side. It's like, I look black. I can't get pulled over by the cops and get a special treatment, because it's like, hey, wait a minute. I think he might be biracial. You know what I'm saying? Like, it doesn't work like that. But it's crazy, because like I was saying to my homies, I was like, yo, I'm just as much a black man in America as I am a white man in America, which is like, when you think about it, it's just like what? Like, I can't identify as a white man, bro. That is weird, bro. That's a whole nother podcast topic, bro.
No. And see, that's the point of the show. Not only is it to highlight the great work of many individuals and businesses, it's also a place where we come and heal, talk to each other, and vent. Like, it's a great mental health, release, and just to kind of build. And that's what it's about, man. Because I'm gonna tell you, like, my sons, I know they're gonna have to deal with a lot of stuff I deal with. Because when I walk in the room, they see a 6 foot, 250 built like a football player. He doesn't look too articulate, and man, are they wrong. Hell, I wind up usually giving people hell because I'm judged the moment I walk in. I've had people tell me I don't look like who my title is because I don't wear a suit. So I got elected in a hoodie. I didn't wear a suit the whole election, right? Like, I've never. So the residents, my fans, my team, they know who I am. I never got a cape, cap, pretend, which I love. I'm comfortable in my skin.
Yeah, that's dope.
But not everyone else is comfortable with me being comfortable in my skin, right? You could tell the wickedness when you get around certain entities and individuals. They can't sit still. And
they're uncomfortable. It's uncomfortable.
They hate you for every reason when you breathe. I don't like the way you breathe it. And they got to leave or they got to do something right away. That is a heathen running away, because they can't take the energy down. Because when you walk in with that aura looking like Goku, they're like, I can't take this. That ambiance, basking in the ambiance. But that's not for me, because that wickedness, it will have its day, but it has no win over me, right? Like, there's no dollar amount on earth that you can bring to me that I would turn my back on my children, my family. It just can't. I can never see it. And conversations have approached before, right? As I've achieved different things throughout my life, you can see when the serpent's rear its head. It's always. You just got to be witty enough to kind of maneuver through the jungle. And know when to pull out your chop some of the high grass down. You got to just know. If not, there's not a machete on earth that can save you, because if your soul is really dark, you're gonna go for it, bro. Because this is one thing people don't understand. The universe doesn't speak English. It doesn't speak Spanish. It speaks energy. So you can lie to the human beings, right? But you can't lie to the universal energy. So when you lay down at night, it knows you're not right. And it's never going to cater towards you because you're off balance. You're off balance. It will never vibrate towards you because you're not right. So you can lie to the humans, but the humans aren't going to bring you what you're looking for. You got to reach a higher level of consciousness. Because
that's the source of everything.
So we touched on Nathan Stowgate, right? But to get that feeling, that energy, mall closed, I can't confirm or deny that people was smoking and having a good time in there, but it was a good time.
I was.
And some of the illest talent, like, even to this day, where people are now called legends in the area, came through that very story, man. So whether people know it or not, like, that was really dope. That was really dope. And just a monumental time. It felt like the tunnel. Like New York's tunnel. That's how I felt. Like,
it was a scene, man. It was a scene. It was a vibe. It was a...
I actually battled Rich. Filthy Rich.
Did you?
Framework Rich in that joint. I was trying to film. It was just so much. And that's how I met Rich. And he Come to find out, same birthday, same age. Like, we call each other twin. It's been like that for like 20 years.
That's crazy.
What up, twin? What up, twin? Every birthday we say what up. Like,
Mm-hmm.
that's my guy. Shout out Rich. I think he'll actually be by Wednesday for his interview.
Oh, that's dope.
Yeah,
That's dope.
Yeah. Get the framework story.
Yeah, framework.
Cuz is he's another one where I just love. There's some
Definitely
people
legend.
that have touched my life throughout my coming up and going through things that I'm like, I always will turn around and get that hand, bro.
Mm-hmm.
I will always extend that olive branch because I'm one person that doesn't believe in burning bridges. I believe in amplifying them.
Right.
We got it through, so now let's make an underpass.
Yeah.
Let's
throw some lights on that thing.
Yeah. That's and that just it helped me. I don't know how other people operate, but it helps me. I don't use people as a thing or an object.
Right.
They're people.
Right.
They're people, bro.
Yeah, that's a fact. That's a fact, and I feel that way. And I firmly believe in the energy that you put out is what you get back.
You just recently stopped by the Leadership Academy, man. How was that?
Oh my God, it was a beautiful experience. To be able to talk to the youth and just inspire and share your story is like the greatest thing, man. Like I never imagined it when I was a kid that I would have a story and be able to reach the kids and just it's a beautiful thing, man.
That was actually one of my students, Lanique Taylor. I asked him because it's the end of the school year now, and we always do a review. And I'm like, so talk to Mr. Ralph. Tell me about like one of your most pivotal moments in the program. Bro was like, when I got to hold that Justin Bieber plaque.
Oh, that's crazy.
Oh, that's the first thing he said, bro.
Oh, that's dope.
I can't wait to tell Ag that, man.
That's dope.
He came out the hallway and took a picture with you.
Yeah, okay,
yeah.
Yeah.
I got to hold that plaque, man. That's so
dope.
big. And it inspires them, bro. It really does.
Yeah.
Like Vaughn, DJ Vaughn Beats. He was my mentee at the Joshua Group. I used to be his mentor.
Okay.
And when I was teaching them about music, the director, I won't say no name, God rest it dead, the director at the time was like, Ralph, I don't want these black and brown babies worrying about music. I said, oh.
What?
And that's when I wanted to start my own nonprofit that day.
Oh.
And then how God works, though, is most of them did go to school for music and business engineering and came back and was productive in the community and run studios to this very day, right?
What would be the purpose of that?
Right, because it didn't fit his mission. That's what's wrong with a lot of these groups. They don't care if it's right for the child or the family.
Yeah.
It's not my mission, so I don't care. It's not what we can stand. I don't get a direct profit. That's why people don't turn out for each other, because it doesn't directly influence them. But if you look at the community as a whole, it helps us all.
That's selfish. How do you call yourself doing something for the community if you have ultimately your own ulterior motive for doing it, or you have it's for these people? Like that. That means you're being selfish and
they don't see the
you're
reaction.
Gatekeeping.
Yeah, they don't see the reaction to what they do too. So you got a lot of groups that, we're going to feed an unhoused. Let's take pictures. First of all, you don't want to take pictures of people when they're really down and out. You're helping them just do it for the sake of doing it.
Right.
But these irresponsible nonprofits, they go down there with these large pans of food, knowing there's no refrigeration down there or ways to handle the food, drop it off. Of course, they'll eat what they can, but then it's just there. Now we've got a rodent infestation, we've got a rat infestation, a health crisis now because the misguided irresponsibility of a lot of these groups. If they just connect with the ones doing it right, that are certified and know how to operate, but they would never, because it's about them. It's the
they want their
pose, right? Like, that's just an example. That's just an example of what I'm saying, right? And I know some of you at home, nah, bro, you don't know what you're talking about. You're right. To each his own, and your opinion is yours. But I know this for a fact. It's the work I've worked in for over 2 decades, and now with my role with the city, I see it even more. And it's an aspect of it I didn't consider.
Right.
I'm like, but there is a whole nother side to it when you got groups that are irresponsible and cause more damage than they realize.
Yeah.
Of course, I get it. You're trying to help, but there are right ways and wrong ways to do it. So
and some people aren't educated on it, and it's okay that you're not educated on it, but speak to those who are educated on it and get educated on it.
Right.
So that you can do it the right way. Doing it the right way is going to ultimately be better than.
And will amplify your mission. Eventually, you'll get great partners. You'll be able to continue it, right?
And you can grow.
But they don't worry about that. They don't think of longevity or sustainability. They just want to do it right now because it's Christmas weekend and we gotta look good for the gram.
Yeah.
That's not benefiting nobody, bro.
Nah,
your whole timeline is you posting J's and all your females, and then one day out the year you give out 300 cheeseburgers. Like, it's not, and I'm no knock to whoever's doing whatever, but I'm just saying there are greater ways that everyone can connect and intertwine and interleave and really do big things.
For sure.
I mean, it just is. Now, you a gamer like me at 64 or GameCube? Nintendo 64 or Nintendo GameCube?
I'm gonna keep it all the way a buck with you, bro. by the time 64 and GameCube came around, I wasn't really on either one of them Jones like
no.
that. Nah,
did you play either one?
I did. I played the 64. The GameCube, not so much. So for that specific question, I'm gonna go with 64 because I played 64.
Did you see how the value of them rose during the COVID pandemic? Like Nintendo 64s, GameCube was going for like 300, 400.
That's crazy.
And they got rare. They're rare now. Like they're expensive.
Everything went up during the pandemic. That's when I got into these Jones, into the Funkos. I got into them during the pandemic. And you know what's crazy? I actually turned it into a business. I had started my joint called Funko Trap House. And what I would do was I had an auction online on Whatnot. I had a joint on Whatnot that was popping. And we would do this game I created called Trapper Slap. So basically it was like spin a wheel. Where they would how's we doing it? They would bid on a spot to spin the wheel. Once you spin the wheel, you either land on a trap or a slap. You know what I'm saying? So that's how we was doing that. And basically if you landed on a trap, you got like a higher value pop. If you landed on a slab, you got to pick something from the random wall. Yeah. So for a while, man, that was
Squid Game.
Yeah, it was fun, man. Yeah, one of them joints. Right. But
Guardians of the Galaxy. What are they? The Victor. I see them everywhere. I'm like, they won't get rid of these Jones.
Man, them 5 and below Jones is what it is.
Do you like the NECA figurines?
Yeah, those are dope. Those are super dope.
Realistic.
I got a couple cars too. The the cars.
Yeah.
Those Jones are dope.
My daughter collects. She's all about horror. Like, God bless whoever because she is going to terrify. You go in her room, she got Chucky, Tiffany, Glenn, all on the shelf.
Oh my God!
Like the real size ones, like all of the NECA doll. I'm like, she loves horror. Like every time, Dad, let's watch a horror movie. But that's what I like too.
Yeah,
they're not above streaming it. My dad got the Blu-ray, we got the DVD. They got their own little collections. So I'm showing them the value, like physical property, intellectual property. They love it. They love collecting. They love like actually touching it. Mm-hmm. The newer generation, I get it. Oh, I'm streaming. I got the Fire Stick. That's cool.
Yeah.
But one day the internet might go off.
Yeah, and then what?
You ain't coming in my bomb stuff.
No, you can't use mine.
Like a Cloverfield,
It's gonna cost you $100 movie for the night.
The way the world's going, you just never know, man. I'd rather verge on the edge of caution than just act dumbfounded like, no, ain't nothing gonna happen. I trust everybody and everyone's so beautiful. So, Ag, do you have any current projects you're working on, or what's Aganee up to these days?
Honestly, right now, I don't want to say that I'm not working on anything because I'm always working. Mm-hmm. Like when I leave here, I'm probably gonna go home and cook up something. Mm-hmm. Like I got my little home based studio at the crib, so it's like
always did.
Yeah, always gotta have that because when it hits you and you feel like creating, you create. You know what I'm saying? But right now in life is lifing. Mm-hmm. So currently I'm driving trucks. You know what I'm saying? Like I went and got my CDL. So I'm driving trucks. So my plan, and I'm speaking it into existence, is to start I want to start a logistics company.
You will start.
Yeah, for sure. Absolutely. And at some point, I'm not going to be driving. I'm going to have other people. Yeah. But I know music is my calling, and I know that I haven't even begun to do the things that I know is going to happen. Like,
so we touched on that, Ag, but we didn't really touch on that. So who's some of the greatest, well, not even the greatest, who's some of the big names you produced for? What's some of the accolades you received for your great work? Because we could have delved in it in the beginning, but I thought it was important for people to know who Aganee is.
Yeah, for sure.
So now we can get to the dope stuff.
No doubt. Appreciate that. So some of the big artists that I've worked with, I was signed to Dark Child, Rodney Jerkins, who's like responsible for like over 300 million records sold. Worked with everybody from Michael Jackson to Janet Jackson, Michael Jackson.
I was in that session.
J-Lo,
Mike took my pen. I ain't gonna say that.
Yeah, just one of the biggest producers in the world. So I was signed to Rodney. I did a record for Justin Bieber called "Die in Your Arms."
Is that on the Believe album?
Yeah, the Believe album. Ooh. That joint did, I think, 4 million, 3 or 4 million.
Got the
and the single, the triple platinum plat for that joint. And then the single that I did went gold, which was "Die in Your Arms." That was a single. And then I ended up doing 2 joints for Ariana Grande's first 2 albums. that I did those with my man Travis Sells and my guy Tommy Brown pulled me in on that on Honeymoon Avenue and a record called Only One.
Wow.
And then I did some joints with like Meek Mill. I worked with Beanie Siegel, Jadakiss, Freeway, Gilly. More recently, I'm working with Joel Ortiz and my guy King Crooked. Been working with him real close. I recently did something with the God MC Rakim.
Okay.
Yeah, which is super dope, man.
The R.
Yeah, the R, bro. So.
Then you used to mess with dude from Flip Mode.
Rampage.
Rampage.
Yeah,
I remember that.
Rampage. That's my guy, man.
Rampage was cool.
They're supposed to be doing another Flip Mode album. I'm
That'd
trying to figure out how to be a part of that, man.
Crazy.
Yeah, I want to be a part of that. And more recently, I'm just waiting for Ghostface to open up the email. But I actually spoke to Ghostface on IG, which was surprisingly, it was when his album just dropped 2 weeks ago, and he dropped the song Scar Tissue with Nas, and I heard that joint. I was like, yo, joint crazy. So I posted it online. I mean, just showing some love to the forefathers of this thing. You know what I mean? The Ghostface and Nas, and Ghost reposted it. And I was like, oh, okay, let me take my little opportunity and introduce myself and say what up, because I know he coming to the city next month.
Yep. So
he was like, yeah, send the pack through. I was like, say less. So I sent him a crazy pack. But I know he moving and shaking and doing a lot, so I seen it wasn't open yet. But when Ghost open that thing, it's
the Woo and the Locks. There's some artists that I've been around in my life, and you know what, Lil C's and Biggie's son, CJ.
Yeah,
they were like the most down to earth people I've ever met in my life. Like, yeah, what's crazy is like the first one, Mayweather fought Pacquiao. I watched that in the hotel room with like Lil C's, Biggie's son, Rosewood. Like we were just in the room, just like, and we was watching the we weren't watching authentically. But we had it on the fire screen in the hotel room, and we was just like kicking it. I'm like, yo,
that's
dope. Ain't this the life? Like just chilling, like
that's so dope.
And I got a picture with CJ, and he was just telling me about the experiences growing up as Big Son.
Yeah,
it was crazy, bro.
That's dope.
But you just never know, man. But the Woo, they were always down to earth. Like every time you talk to them, they would give you conversation. The Locks, bro. Sheep, Jay, Styles, they don't even act like they've done all they done. Yeah. When you're around them, it's just like, yo, this is my uncle. Right. Like, they're not like high maintenance.
I remember when they came to the city, I don't know what year that was, but they had shot the video with my homie G.I. General.
Yep. And we brought him to the F.O.R.M show. The F.O.R.M.
Yeah, to the F.O.R.M, yep. And we ended up going, matter of fact, it was Freeway and Jadakiss. Yep. We had went and shot some footage right underneath the bridge.
It's all about getting that money.
Yeah. Shout out G.I., that's my dude.
Yeah, G.I. the General.
So, you know, meeting them, it was just like, yo, this is one of my heroes. You know what I mean? Like, crazy. Yeah.
That was you, right?
No.
Oh, I was about to say
that wasn't me. That joint crazy.
Yeah. Oh my God! When I heard she could have kissed, I said, I don't know why that was one. That was a dope record, bro. But no, I remember that time, man. A lot of great talent that came from this area, bro.
Yeah.
Phenomenal talent, bro. Phenomenal. For sure. Just like most areas, it's just like the disparities that hold us down. It's not really us. We have no ceilings besides the ones we put on ourselves. We have no chains besides the ones we shackle ourselves to. Yeah. That's where them vices come in and all those extras, right? But
no doubt,
we could get away from that too, bro. Now, when you buy your chanclas or your house shoes, right? This is a big argument. You know what I mean, especially in our circles. Closed flip flop slides or the Ninja Turtle joints with the little joint in the middle that had your toes all split.
Nah, I ain't doing them, bro. Nah, bro. I don't want nothing in between my toes, bro.
How you like the Ninja Turtle?
Yeah, nah, son.
So they gotta be the regular shower.
Yeah, it gotta be the regular over top of the foot. Yeah.
Where you just pop your foot in.
But see, I'm also, a lot of people hate them, and this is a big argument. I wear Crocs, bro. I don't care. Some people, they be like, oh my God, bro's wearing Crocs. Listen, I wear Crocs, bro. Them joints.
You know what gets me mad about them real quick? So I have a culinary background, right? I've cooked for like 15 years. We had to wear non-slip Crocs in the street. But they used to make fun of me all the time, bro. If you don't get them frogs or But these are non-slips, bro.
Yeah.
What's your problem?
Yeah.
Then one day it just became cool, and I'm like,
Phenomenal.
bro, street ass.
Yeah. It's crazy.
I'm like,
it's crazy.
but then see, that's that. They make fun of it from your parents, and then one day they're putting on bell bottoms.
Mm-hmm.
Like the 70s come back around, the 80s come back around, the 90s come back around. It
always repeats itself.
Always.
Yeah, because we're out of the phase of skinny jeans again. Now it's back to these big, yeah. I'm thankful for that too.
Is the baggy coming back? Because I saw Drizzy, he was performing, bro. His jeans was
yeah. I don't know what's going on, bro. I'm like, damn, they about to get back to my regular size.
They got an air pump connected to him or something, bro. Like the air mattress on. Like,
did you see that Joni had on? It was like a reptile back. I don't know what that was.
It's like Reptar.
Yeah, I don't know what that was, bro.
But Ag, anything you promoting, anything you want people, the viewers that's watching it right now to know about, anything coming up, just anything as of right now as today?
I didn't really prepare anything like that. I don't really have anything in mind right now. Yeah, just keep an eye out. Make sure y'all follow my IG.
Yeah, give more the handles.
Yeah, the Real Aganee on IG. It's the Real Aganee on Twitter as well, or X. I'm sorry, X. But yeah, at the moment, not a whole lot, but definitely I'm always in the mix. Something is always.
If artists wanted to connect with you on production or to maybe sit down with you, what's the best way to go about it?
You can hit me on IG. I'm on Facebook too, under Dennis Aganee Jenkins.
You got an email that they can hit up?
Yeah, my email is agkingofthebeats@gmail.com. That's AG.
How long you had that email?
Well, that one I haven't had that long. Aganee I've had for a long time.
Okay.
Just Aganee@gmail. You can hit me there too. But Ag King of the Beats I pretty much use for my music.
Ag King of the Beats.
Yeah, Ag King of the Beats @gmail.com.
Yeah.
I'm super approachable. Like I'm not cats know, man. And like I'm still super affordable too. Like even though Grammy nomination, plaques, whatever, like that doesn't change who I am, and I always try to show love to the independent artists because at one point I was an independent artist as well. So I understand everybody can't afford $5,000 for a beat. I don't charge anywhere near that.
No. And you've always been very accessible too. Like that's no cap. You see Ag just in Walmart. Like, hey, what up, cuz? Like,
yeah, that's me. I'm always gonna be me. Like I've never been able to fake the funk and be somebody that I'm not. Like I'm not even comfortable being that.
Yeah.
That Hollywood stuff, I've never been comfortable with that, man.
Because when you treat people like that, eventually you're gonna be back on the decline. Yeah. You gotta see those same people who are probably now your bosses, the people with the funding, the people you're like, oh, why did I tell him to go to hell?
Yeah.
You never know, bro. Life has this weird way of this like game mechanism to it, and the ones that are really good at playing it, you can tell like they get further. But those who are very stubborn and refuse to believe that there's some type of game aspect to it, unfortunately, it goes the way it goes. But my brother, hey, thank you for coming through, man.
As always,
this was amazing, man. We gotta get you back.
Thank you for having me.
Because this was therapeutic for me, bro.
Same, bro. Same.
I gotta get you back, man.
Yeah, we can do that. Anytime I told you, man. Like anytime you want me to come and speak to the kids again, too, man.
Oh, we gonna book something for the summer. Oh, actually, I'm gonna get you integrated into some of the recordings we're gonna do this summer.
Okay.
So whether you wanted to teach them like record it, because we did that with Stink Lau in his studio last summer, and the final project was them actually recording the song. So they were in two different groups. So they learned like the emotion of how you're feeling to put it into a song. Then how do you write and devise a song? What's the hook? What's the counting bars, right? Like every part of it all the way through until they actually final project they had to record the song itself. So
that's dope.
Yeah, I want to get back with you on that.
Yeah, I would love to show them some production or something like that. That would be dope.
Fire. That'd be fire. So Aganee, King of the Beats, and as I always say, from me and mine to you and yours, are you doing all you can today? Peace.